To all who listen to this happy pod, welcome. My name is Noah Parker, and this is my world of wonder. Today I'm joined yet again by my brother Caleb.
Hello.
He hasn't been here in a little while, actually, but he's here now. So
I wasn't married last time I was here.
That's true, actually. Yeah, the last time you were on the podcast, you said the next time I'm on the podcast, I will be fresh from Disney World.
I'm not
and
fresh
that
from
was
Disney World.
months ago. It's been a while now. But yeah, so what was I saying?
You can edit that out.
Yeah, I'll probably I might leave it in because it's funny.
I like even this part.
Yeah, I like to leave things in. I don't like to edit a whole lot, so it's fine.
It
but
sounds like he's lazy.
What I was trying to say is, yeah, you weren't married last time we did this, and now
That's
you
cool,
are.
huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
How's it feel that you've been married for what, 4 months now, ish, almost?
No.
October.
It's 3. I mean,
Won't it be 4?
in 10 days? I guess it's 4 months.
That's what I was. Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's what I said. Yeah, so I said almost.
So yes.
So how does it feel?
It's good. Life
Good.
is good.
Yeah.
Things are good.
Yeah, that's good. Care
Now-
to
now,
elaborate on that?
Her debt is my debt. So
Yeah, that's the less exciting part, but it's fine.
my debt is her debt. Though,
Yeah,
so
that may be a little bit
I have
more
less.
Oh.
No, I don't know. I don't
Who
actually.
knows?
Not yet. Anyway,
Well, maybe on paper.
it's like the same.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's fine. Two incomes, right?
Yeah.
2 incomes go a long way. They go about as far as a single income did a couple decades
50
ago.
years ago.
Yeah. Anyway, we digress. So today what we are going to do is take a look. So we've been very heavily Disney up to this point, and Star Wars, which is still kind of Disney. But we're taking our first venture outside of the Disney realm today.
It could have been Disney.
It almost was, but somebody screwed the pooch on that one. Was that Eisner? Or was that Chapek? Not Chapek.
It was Eisner.
Eisner, okay. Oh, yeah, because it was early 90s.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks.
The first book came out in
Thanks, Michael Eisner.
97.
Right. And the first
uh,
movie was made in 99, wasn't it?
2001.
2001. Oh, I thought it was quicker than that.
Nah.
Oh. Well, regardless, could have been Disney, but it wasn't. So we venture outside of Disney for today.
Did you even say what we were doing yet?
Not yet.
So anyway.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We're going to be talking about the some of the differences from book to movie of Harry Potter
Yes.
and the Philosopher's Stone.
Yes, which is probably the first change that was made to this. How?
Well, it wasn't the movie.
No, yeah, it wasn't the movie.
It was the American book, and then when they made the movie, they knew it was going to be more popular in America anyway.
Right.
So might as well just give it the American name, am I right? Take that,
It
England.
would have confused so many people, I think. Because, let's be honest, when
I'm
I
still
first started
confused.
reading,
Mom got confused.
understandably
Took
so.
her, she could have asked.
I mean,
But
I
thought,
did.
You see, I thought it was common sense, though, that the only word that changed was philosopher to sorcerer. It's still stone, so I don't understand.
But there could have been 2 stones,
That's bad writing.
I mean,
That's bad writing.
it would have been. But I mean, I'll admit that when I first started reading, which was recently somewhat.
I can't wait to read the sequel.
No, it wasn't that. I was just getting super confused because I would be watching, after I finished reading it, I would be watching YouTube videos or something about it, and they'd be talking about the Philosopher's Stone, and I'm like, what are they what? And it wasn't until I got halfway through one of those videos, and I was like, these stories are identical, and then I just took to Google and I sorted it out. So yeah,
Nice. Okay.
weird change, but also makes sense. I think it would have made sense to keep it Philosopher's Stone, to be honest, when it came over, but what's done is done.
Yeah. I don't know why they thought Americans would be like, oh, a philosopher? Gross.
Right.
But sorcerer's cool.
Right?
I guess it sounds cooler.
It kind of does, I guess. I don't know.
I think it was the least necessary change ever.
Probably. But that's not what we're talking about today.
No, it's not.
So we know that there's hundreds of YouTube videos out there that talk about the differences between the movie and the book. So we decided, instead of telling you about those differences, we're just going to talk about them and talk about whether or not we think it was a good change. right?
Yeah.
No.
We're going to critique it,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. There's some changes
some
that we
opinions.
think were good, but then there's some changes that there's some things I would have liked to see a little more of or have a little more context for in the movie. I do like the movie though. I'll preface by saying that. I think the movie was good.
I think the first two movies were pretty good.
Yeah.
After that,
pretty true to the book.
They're okay, but they don't get enough of the story in there.
Right. Awesome. So first and foremost, I wanted to talk about my first point, and I'll let you interject as you need to, and then I'll let you talk about the second point. So the first point was the opening, right? Because in the movie, the opening is just immediately McGonagall waiting on the front steps.
Boom, baby Harry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Immediately, right out the gate. And I read the book originally, and then to prep for this podcast, I did listen to the audio version because I'm also currently finishing. I just finished Order of the Phoenix, and I just started Half-Blood Prince. So I was like,
the best book.
Yeah. So far, I mean, I'm only through 2 chapters so far, and I'm like, I like what's happening so far. This is interesting.
Oh yeah, it stays that way.
Yeah, but anyway, I was re-listening to the audiobook, so I was like, I don't think I'm physically currently in my current state of being capable of reading 2 different books at the same time, especially when they're from the same storyline and just one is 5 years earlier.
Yeah.
So I just re-listened to it, but I'm on such rabbit trails today. That's how my brain's been functioning all day, but it's fine. We need this podcast to stretch out a little bit longer.
Acting up on you, man.
It's getting me. But anyway, I really liked the first chapter of the book.
Oh yeah, it's great.
When Vernon is like going to work.
Yeah.
And all the wizards are like celebrating, and they're just out. They're just chilling, celebrating the fact that the Dark Lord is gone.
They're just in robes, talking, and here's little snippets of like Harry Potter. And he's like, no way, that's that Harry.
He's like, couldn't be the same Harry, and impossible. I'm not even sure his name is Harry. It's probably Harold.
Yeah, his name's probably like.
Isn't that what he says?
Yeah, Harold.
Harold. Yeah.
Or something. He's thinking to himself.
Yeah, but
it's a great start.
It is a great start
because it puts you in the same. But like you feel like, oh, this is just how anybody would react. You'd be like,
right?
Nah, that's so weird. I must be seeing things. Owls during the day. What?
I've never even seen an owl in real life except for at the zoo, but that doesn't count.
You
know, so it's like I would have liked to see a lot of that, or at least not a lot of it, but some of it. Like we could have made the movie 5 minutes longer and gotten that.
At the same time, it's totally fine. They cut it out.
It is.
Totally fine.
I agree.
I don't think it
does
added.
No.
To this, and it didn't take away. It was just a great part of it that is enjoyable. And if you're reading a book, I think it's important. But if you're watching a movie, it's not as important.
Yeah, that context doesn't matter as much.
Jump right in there.
Yeah. So that would have been cool. And there was something else. There's something specific about I think the fact that you see McGonagall, or don't see her, I mean, if you use your mind's eye, I guess, you see McGonagall literally waiting outside of the Dursleys' house all day, waiting for Dumbledore to show up.
That is one patient woman.
Yeah, for real.
But also, she was nosy. That's the reason she was there. We all know it. Because the first thing she said was, is it true that the Dark Lord is gone? Like, really? Come on, McGonagall.
Right.
You just want to get all the tea first so she can spread it. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's just a theory. It's probably right.
No, just kidding. Yeah, so that's the first change for me that I would have liked to have in the movie, but the fact that it's not doesn't ruin it for me. But it would have been cool to experience that and kind of get Vernon's point of view a little bit too. But maybe that's exactly why they took it out.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't
want
about
you
Vernon.
to feel any sympathy for anybody,
right?
But Harry, which is good. But I mean, you feel it anyway. But in the book, you can express things way better, and you have more time. You can take all the time you want.
For sure.
So
yeah, because like I said, I just finished Order of the Phoenix, and that was a behemoth of a book, and I still read it because
it's rough.
I couldn't have sat through a movie that long.
No, dude, that'd be a 10-hour movie
for real. Good lord. Cool. So second thing.
Number 2, the midnight duel.
The midnight
completely erased.
Just didn't even happen.
They didn't even mention anything. Like, it's so sad. I feel like it wouldn't have been that hard.
I don't think so either. Like I was saying, you could just add 5 minutes and get Vernon's day basically with the wizard
Yeah,
celebrating.
you could have added 5 minutes of Malfoy being like,
it probably would have
trash
been less
talking
than
and
5
saying,
minutes.
Yeah, duel at midnight in the trophy room. And then Ron being like, yeah, I'm his second, even though I suck at magic. Anyway.
Right. Ron's got some
and then
nards on him.
Neville wasn't there to see Fluffy, which I feel like is important. And you don't see just how clumsy Neville is either.
Right.
Because like he's forgetful and clumsy. He couldn't even remember the password. Right.
Exactly.
And it really drives home the fact that he needed that remember all.
Right. Which
is a useless piece of magic, by the way.
Right.
Because all it does is tell you that you forgot something, but not that you're forgetting.
That's not what you're forgetting. For real. Like, I'm like, I could have a remember all and it wouldn't do me a lick of good. I know I'm forgetting something.
There's a few pieces of magic like that in the thing, but it's
one piece of magic that's incredibly useful is Hermione's glasses repairing spell.
Oh yes. Oh, here's a change we should add right now.
That's amazing.
Because you remembered it.
Oh.
Hermione never repaired any glasses.
Oh, that's true. That doesn't happen in the book, does it?
His glasses, I'm pretty sure. Maybe on the train she did. I don't think she did. I do not recall specifically.
I don't remember off the top of my head
I think she might have on the train.
Maybe.
This is for a book 2 thing then.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it next time.
Okay.
Book 2, it definitely happens, though, and it infuriates me.
Right.
Anyway, I feel like they could have just, because he doesn't show up anyway, and then they run to Fluffy's door anyway and go in the exact same sequence. So it would not have been that hard. They just wanted to mesh everything together. Why did they run in there in the movie? I'm trying to remember.
Because they're trying to get to the Gryffindor Tower.
Oh, and they get
lost.
But
the staircase moves as they're climbing the stairs. So instead of continuing climbing the staircase,
it would have been so easy to just replace that whole stupid thing. Yeah. The midnight duel thing, because there isn't even a duel. They don't even have to film that. It's just, I bet if there was a duel, it would have made the movie.
Oh, I'm sure it would have.
They would have been like, that's entertaining. We gotta have
So
that.
My problem with the fact that they changed that is because they do just casually wander onto the third floor where no one's supposed to be.
Yeah, instead of...
And they just keep walking
They're already
forward.
there, and they were just running from Filch.
Right. And I'm like,
oh, here's a door. Gotta open it. No matter what. Hide from Filch.
That is like the most...
It's way better, yeah.
What's the... I can't even think of the right word. Hold on. That is the epitome of plot convenience. That they just happen to go down this hallway and just happen to go through this door and just happen to realize that they shouldn't be here because Filch's cat saw them. So they're like, oh no, we must not supposed to be here. So instead of turning around and leaving... They're like, let's go through that locked door because, going through locked doors is always the best option.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if they would have just run past Mrs. Norris before she went to get Filch, they could have just not been on the third floor corridor.
That's what I'm saying.
It wouldn't have been that hard.
That's what I'm saying. So that is one change that they made that I don't like.
It's pretty annoying. It's okay, I guess, but I don't know why they couldn't add
We got where we needed to get in the end, so I guess it's fine. But I
guess.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So then... My next point that I wanted to discuss, and I wanted to kind of to go into it a little bit, is the fact that in the book, so he gets selected to be the seeker for the Quidditch team, right, because of what happens with Draco when they're learning to fly. First of all, amazing how immediately he picked it up. It is the epitome of, I use that word twice in one episode. I shouldn't be doing that, but it's like the perfect example of his bloodline. Like Quidditch is in his blood, so of course he's gonna be able to fly. Oh, dude,
I just remembered something too. Harry's dad was not a seeker.
Oh, but he did play Quidditch though.
He was. He was a chaser.
Yeah.
And on the stupid trophy, it bothers me. Yeah. I just watched it with my wife, and it made me so mad every time I see it. I'm like, he wasn't, though.
Too much coincidence, right?
Like, no.
Yeah. But so he gets selected for Quidditch, and he ends up getting a broom, right? But first years aren't supposed to have brooms. So in the book, the package drops, and it says it's a long, thin box. So it's not broom-shaped at all. It should just be a box.
A parcel. Not a wrapped in paper thing.
In newspaper. Yeah. And there's a note that another owl drops with it that says like, yo, do not open this down here because if you get seen with this broom, all the first years are going to want a broom, and that's a problem. So, of course, in the book, he puts it up in his dormitory, and then he goes and does other classes, and then he has dinner, and then they go open it. But in the movie, it gets dropped on the table, wrapped.
Yeah.
It might as well have not been wrapped because when it was, you're like, that is clearly a broom.
And they just go.
And they open it right there. And like my I don't really love that. Like, I don't know. Maybe for time, it does make sense to do it that way, but I didn't think it did. Because the problem is first years aren't supposed to have brooms, which I've already mentioned.
Yeah, he had to get special permission.
But he got the special permission, and it's not even mentioned.
Technically, I want to say, I don't even think it's his broom. I
don't
it's
think so.
McGonagall's broom. She bought
I think
it,
so.
and he just got to use it, and then he broke it. But that's
That's
thing.
that's for a couple podcasts down the road here. Or is it the next one?
No, it's the third book.
Yeah, it is the third book. Okay, yeah. So he's not supposed to have the broom, and he opens it right there. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because you may have watched the movie more recently. I don't even think it's mentioned.
No, it's not.
That like, hey,
He's not
maybe
supposed to,
hide that
you're not
because
supposed to have that.
Yeah, no one. I don't even. Wow, that didn't take very long at all. I don't think that Malfoy even mentions the fact that he has a broom and he's not supposed to.
Yeah, no, it never
and
happens.
so like that's supposed to be a whole nother line of contention in a little bit.
Oh, it's
but,
frustrating.
Yeah.
So frustrating. Anyway.
I don't know. It bothered me, but I'm going to okay, I guess I'll finish my thought here and then I'll start rolling into the camera again. But my thought there was like, by doing that in the movie, you instantly showed everyone that Harry's going to have special treatment for his entire time at Hogwarts.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter what happens, he's going to get special treatment because he got a broom and no one else could. So like, and it was so plainly just done as opposed to before where it's like, okay, well, someone's going to eventually figure out you have this broom, but let's at least make it look like it wasn't.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So before we move on to our next tagline here, our next point here, I'm going to start rolling that camera again. So give me 1 second. Okay.
Number 4. What is there, like one Quidditch game?
Yeah.
And it's the one where Harry's getting bucked off the broom. You don't get to see Snape
right, as the referee.
As the ref, which is hilarious. In the book, it's so cringy because he's the worst, but they still win, which is great.
Right.
Thank God for the weirdest rule in sports of 150 points going to whoever gets the thing first. That's great. That's nice.
Whatever. Works for me.
It's a good game.
It looks
no
fun.
Close games in Quidditch.
No. Well, see, okay, this is actually an interesting point that I'm going to tag on to this because we're talking specifically about Quidditch at this point. And that is this video that it's like a theory, like a fan theory about Quidditch, right? And they're like, it doesn't make sense that there's a game where you score 10 points for a goal, but if you catch this flying gold ball, you get 150 points, right? But then this theory was like, what if, I don't think any of the sequences in the movie are really long enough to help you either way with this.
Right.
But the theory is that the golden snitch flies extraordinarily fast at the beginning of the match. But as teams start getting points, it gradually slows down.
I think that so the history of Quidditch was that there was a little bird that size, and it was called a snitch.
Okay.
And that's what they were trying to catch. So I would think that it slowed down. Like it got tired trying to run from these guys on broomsticks. So that is probably where it came from. That
kind of makes sense. And see, one of the other things that I don't think they really mentioned in the movie is how Quidditch games can go on for months.
Oh, yeah, like the longest Quidditch game went on for like 6 months.
And you honestly get to a point where catching the golden snitch won't matter anymore. You know, if your game's going on for months, that's enough time for the teams to score thousands of points.
Like the Quidditch World Cup.
Yeah. Like, you just got to catch it to end the game.
1994 running of the Quidditch World Cup.
Yeah.
That's good. That was a good Quidditch World Cup.
Yeah, it was.
Ireland versus Bulgaria.
Let's go.
Ireland. We're
definitely Ireland. Huh? Yeah.
No, Team USA. They're crap. Man.
I would imagine that Americans would be really bad at Quidditch.
They're like, we like to play.
But also the reason
football.
Broom football. They probably changed the rules. The reason I like to mention the fact that there's not as much Quidditch is because I really love Quidditch, and I like to imagine in my brain that if I was a wizard, if this was all real, you know, and I was a wizard, that I would be a Quidditch player.
Well, I think you'd definitely be a Quidditch enthusiast.
I think I would be a player.
You might be
I
able
would
to be
not
a
be a
beater,
seeker.
but I think you'd be a little scared to get hit by the bludgers. So
Nah, maybe I would be a chaser if nothing else.
you're
I
gonna
couldn't
get
be a
hit
keeper.
so hard, bro.
I couldn't be a keeper for sure. And I definitely am too large to be
I
a
think
seeker.
as long as you aren't from this movie and you're the keeper, you have a good shot because there was an illegal move.
Yeah.
When the Slytherin captain
Mm-hmm.
took the bat
Yeah.
and hit it towards wood. What's up with that?
Dude, I know that makes me mad.
It's so,
and it wasn't even
it's so
called.
illegal. It's not even funny because you aren't supposed to hit the keepers like that. You're only supposed
Right.
to hit the people with the quaffle or going after the snitch.
Right.
And also, that's not his position. That's another penalty. 2 penalties.
That's what I'm saying.
1 play.
It made me so mad. Ugh. And it just goes completely like there's like whatever, it's fine. And I'm like, it's not
that's
fine. There's
just
no
Quidditch,
keeper over
man.
there. If I was playing soccer, I
Woo.
wouldn't be able to go deck the goalkeeper and knock him unconscious and drag his butt behind the goalpost and then just.
But there's also not rocks that you throw at other players. So
I guess.
that's a bad comparison.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's okay.
what were we talking? Oh yeah, no
Yeah,
Quidditch.
No Quidditch. There's one game,
and it sucks.
and the sequence where Wood is
to be
teaching
fair,
Harry
though,
to play
to be
is so
fair,
short.
There were only 2 games in the book.
Yeah, but they were also like better than the movie.
Well, actually, I mean, they talk about the other games,
I guess.
but Harry can't play in it in the last game.
Right,
That's why
'cause
they
he's
lose.
asleep.
He got knocked out.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's Quidditch. That was a change. I would have liked more Quidditch, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So the next one, this is also one that was. Wait, hold on. So that was me, you,
Number
me,
5.
you. So this is me. Okay. So the whole storyline with Hagrid and Norbert.
It's so sad.
In the movie, you basically find out he got the dragon egg.
Dude, it makes 0 sense actually.
Yeah. It's so fast. He just has the dragon.
Well, here's the thing. They say owning dragons is illegal,
Yeah.
but they just take the dragon away. They don't do anything about it.
Right.
I don't know what Harry, Ron, and Hermione got in trouble for.
Because they were at Hagrid's hut after hours.
But who cares?
Malfoy did. Apparently.
See, that wasn't even, that's like, whatever.
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so
It's,
Malfoy in the
were
movie.
they even there? Malfoy was there. So how
Exactly.
is it after
Well,
hours?
that's the
how
problem.
Did he get out there?
That's
if
the
it's
problem.
after
He
hours?
also was out after hours. That's why in the movie, when they all get detention, except for one person was wrong.
Yeah. Well, I guess
We can tie that into this
let's
because it's
just
kind of the
mention
same
it.
thing.
Neville should have been on detention
Yeah.
because, but this whole thing is so messed
It's
up.
all backwards.
Because what should have happened is that Ron should have been in the hospital wing
Mm-hmm.
for some reason.
Why was he in the hospital
I
wing?
can't remember what he did. What did he do? He hurt himself doing something. Oh, Norbert bit him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Madame Pomfrey was not buying that he had a dog that bit him or something
Right.
like that. There's something like that.
Yeah, something. Yeah, that's right. He had the dragon bite. So Ron was in the hospital wing, and then basically, so in the movie, you find out Harry and Hermione find out that
It's all in one moment. It's like
he has the dragon.
The
and
egg
then,
is hatching. They're like, "Oh, my egg's hatching," and then he's there, and then Malfoy's in the window,
yeah,
and then Norbert's gone, and Hagrid's sad, and then they go into the forest.
yeah. But in the book, you find out he has the egg, and then it's literally like a 4 or 5, maybe a couple months in book time.
Oh yeah,
Time span.
I think it's like 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, he's got Norbert for a while, and then they're
that's
basically
time
like,
to get attached. Unlike the other thing, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh well, I just hatched it. I mean, it's not that big a deal.
right, and so and like you said, they just take him away. They just take away Norbert.
Yeah,
and you don't know what happens to
No
him.
punishment for Hagrid.
Yeah,
But the kids out of bed get to go into the dark forest.
which is forbidden for students, except unless it's in detention.
Unless you're with Hagrid searching for whatever's eating the most pure creature on the planet. And they're like, that's a good idea.
Right?
Yeah, let's send these kids in.
It's like here's your options, kids. You can either be expelled from Hogwarts
we're
or
making
you
fun
can
of the
die.
book too at this point. This is getting out of hand.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's okay. But
it's funny. It's true. Why is it's so menacing? But they literally go in the Dark Forest in every book, but I think one book.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember what book it is. Book 4.
I
don't think they go there in book 4.
I'm trying to remember if
I don't think they do.
Oh, they definitely do in book 5. They definitely do.
They do in.
I think well, I don't know.
Oh, it's book 6. I think they don't go there.
Well, I'll find out when I get there.
Think? I don't know, man. I can't remember.
Anyway. So yeah, the dragon storyline is just basically non-existent in the movie. And you don't even really learn about Charlie.
Yeah, it's just
like I don't even know if they mention. I think he mentions Charlie in passing because he's like,
well, it's at Christmas.
Yeah,
they're saying they're going to see Charlie.
That's right.
For Christmas, so he's staying.
Right.
Which is so rude.
That's so sad. They're like, hey, we're gonna go see your brother for Christmas, so have fun.
Yeah, me, your father, and your little sister are going on vacation in Romania for Christmas.
Yeah. You know, it is what it is.
You guys can go. I don't know. Shoot yourselves.
But yeah. So Norbert's supposed to go there, but whatever. There's a whole extra storyline there that could have been fun, but
yeah.
Oh well.
Neville getting in trouble makes the last when
oh yeah,
Hermione stupefies or binds him or whatever she does. It makes it way more important because you realize like Neville was involved. That's why he doesn't want them out because he's like, right. I was part of this,
Right. It's more yes, it's personal for him because it's Gryffindor that they get in trouble, and that's what in the movie he's like, you're gonna get Gryffindor in trouble again. But it's really like, I seen firsthand what crap you guys are doing out there, so like let's not do that.
It's like, come on, you guys are ruining my life.
Yeah.
Which isn't that good to begin with.
for real. Oh gosh. All right. So that's point 5. Point 6. Yeah, let's move on.
The worst change.
Yeah, probably the change that makes the least sense.
The change that didn't need... Well, the only reason it changed... I'll explain it. Do you know the reason?
I assume it's just because of the actor. But, okay.
Sort of. Harry has the wrong color eyes. And technically his mother, but... It's so annoying because... I think there's actually shots. I could be wrong. Like, when he looks in the mirror... I think his mother in the mirror has green eyes.
In the mirror, Varys.
Yeah. And then people are always saying, you have your mother's eyes. You have your mother's eyes. I'm going to bring this up every time we do this, by the way. Anyway.
Yeah.
The reason Harry doesn't have green eyes is because in 2001, the only way they could turn your eyes green is with contacts. And little boy Daniel Radcliffe had some issues with the contacts in his eyes.
Interesting.
So he couldn't have green eyes. They worked.
Yeah.
But he couldn't
there's
wear
only
them.
So much you can do.
He couldn't wear them for more than like 30 minutes, and that's not going to work.
Right.
So there you go.
So yes and no.
Super annoying. It's super annoying.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Other than that, Daniel Radcliffe looked exactly what you would think Harry Potter would look like.
Yeah, for real.
The best cast in the whole movie, probably.
Yeah.
Only because
I don't know.
Poor Rupert Grint ended up being short and stocky.
Yeah.
And then the twins ended up being lanky and tall, which is the opposite. It should be the other way. But
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Finding those two guys who looked exactly like each other to play Fred and George was pretty solid casting.
Yeah, they aren't even twins. It's crazy, right?
You saw that, right?
Yeah, I did see
that interview where they're like, so you guys actually twins? They're like, no, actually, it's crazy. We met for the first time on the set.
We met for the first time at the audition. It was crazy.
So funny.
Who would audition if you weren't already redheaded twins? Anyway, that's good stuff. People are dumb.
For real.
Good stuff.
How many people bought that? How many people are watching this right now going like, wait, what? Probably none, honestly. But nobody's watching this. About the boys.
It is true. Isn't it true?
No.
Guys, don't
listen. Shut up. Let's move on now. Point 6 was a pretty short and sweet one, but it's also like probably the most annoying because it's probably one like the fact that he needs to look like his dad, which
he did. Honestly,
he did. The guy they cast to play his dad was pretty solid, but he's also supposed to have his mother's eyes, and he definitely does not. I mean, we can watch the movie again and double check, but I think you're right. I think her eye colors
her
are
eyes
wrong.
were green because I think they filmed the mother's part before they figured out that he could not wear the god tags, which is unfortunate.
Probably. So we move on, and we're kind of backtracking here because we added this one later. But one of the changes that we wanted to talk about was his first encounter with Draco Malfoy. Because in the book, the first time he ever sees Draco is... Oh, sorry, in the movie, the first time he ever sees Draco is when they're in the little first-year chamber before they let them into the Great Hall to be sorted.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
don't
first
even
time he
meet on
sees
the
him.
train.
Right, which is weird.
They're cutting out so much.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So where he actually was supposed to first meet him in book terms is
Madame Malkin's.
Yeah, when he's being fitted for robes.
And something or other.
I don't remember. So Draco's standing there getting fitted for his robes, and Harry walks in and basically...
and he's asking Harry all these questions, and he's like, I think people who aren't in the wizard world, they shouldn't come. And Harry's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
I'm not from the wizard world. You're going to kill me.
Which I think establishes that tendency of, I guess, in broad spectrum, Slytherin's beliefs.
Oh, yeah.
That only purebloods should be learning magic.
Such a Slytherin.
So it was interesting to get that firsthand and know immediately that is...
And then Harry's all worried and like, oh, man, am I even supposed to be going here? Like, it doesn't sound like people like me.
Exactly. So I think that would have been a nice addition in the movie because we didn't get a lot of Diagon Alley.
Well, yeah, and
I would have liked more.
Oh, yeah, Diagon Alley should have been more involved because it's the most magical place in the whole book.
Real.
Let's be real.
For real. It's a whole...
It is the most... This is wizardry. Like, this is how wizards live, kind of thing. You see, like, the culture of wizards there, and, like, you kind of see it at the ministry.
A little.
But you also see, like... It's more like an office. It's not as It's not as this is how people act and this is what people like in the wizard world.
Right. Well, maybe compared if the front desk was a tortoise.
If it was something really random, right?
Just,
like something weird.
Yeah, just something really weird that's the desk, and it's like, yeah, that's weird.
It like moves around. You got to go find the front desk every time you go.
That'd be awesome, actually. I'm kind of here for it.
I do like their paper airplane memos. Or
yeah,
is it birds or
they're paper airplanes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Are you sure? I thought they were flying.
No, I think they're paper. Maybe
you just read the book, man.
But okay, but
it was a long time
that was the first couple chapters.
Part, right?
It was a long time.
Was it the first couple chapters? I think it was like chapter 10. It's so fucking
okay, yeah, but there's like 40 chapters in the book. So
anyway, would have been nice. But then they're also supposed to have a fight on the train.
Yeah.
It's supposed to like build, their feud.
Exactly.
Whereas
by the time they
movie,
get to school, they hate each other. Not, you're at school and you... Because in the movie...
Like, I can decide who's good wizards and not for myself.
And it's like, you haven't had long enough.
We just met, though.
You have not had long enough to determine that yet, so...
Right,
Maybe it doesn't make sense, but
compared to he met Hagrid, right? And then he met Draco, and he sees like, oh, there's Hagrid and there's Draco. These are kind of people. And then he meets Ron on the train. And he's like, oh, there's nice shy people and worried people just like me in this world.
Yeah.
And then he can be like, okay, that Draco kid's just in the minority, and nobody really realizes it.
Right. So there's a lot you lose out on Draco and Harry's lack of contact before they get to the castle.
Like their feud should be way more intense.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's just not. There's nothing really
intense
there.
for reason, like with something you can back it up and not just for the sake of.
In all the other movies, it's like,
there has to be an antagonist.
Why do they hate themselves? Why do they hate each other so much?
Exactly.
It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. Anyway. I don't know. All right. Next on number 8.
No Peeves.
No Peeves.
They tried.
Did they?
They did. They did a CGI of Peeves like the ghosts.
Okay.
But they didn't like how it turned out. So they're like, cut him. And then he never showed up in any movie.
It's pretty lame.
Peeves is like the best, dude.
He is.
He's the worst and best all in one. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. It would have been nice. He does cause a lot of ruckus. And so I can see how in 90... Probably 2000 is when they were actually doing this.
Yeah.
I can see how that would be challenging.
Yeah, it's really hard to get somebody.
And they were also working on Warner Brothers budget. See, this is one of those moments where I'm like, okay, if this had been produced by Disney, we would have gotten Peeves.
Potentially.
Because I feel like Disney would have been looking at, well, I say this, but now I'm also thinking maybe they wouldn't have.
Well, I don't know if Disney's budget would have been that much better.
I think it could have been, but I don't think it would have been.
Well, it's the first movie too. You don't want to pour all this money and then it stinks.
But I also think, because I'm trying to remember the exact reason that Disney didn't get the contract.
I think they just didn't want it.
But that's what I'm thinking, is that if I remember correctly, they're like, it's just a fad. It's going to go away.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. So if they had gotten it, they would have had that same mindset making it, unlike Warner Brothers, who was able to be like, okay, well, this might be a passing fad, but let's make a really good movie
we're gonna do our best because
and look what it's done for them. Here we are.
People still talk about Warner Brothers. That's impressive.
23
Warner
years
Brothers
later
is so irrelevant other than Harry Potter.
Right? And what sucks is that they don't even have their own theme park, so they had to license out the theme park to somebody else.
It's hilarious, but it works.
It does. I really love Wizarding World. I want to go back, but I digress. Awesome. So our next penultimate is one before the last, I think.
No, this will be our last because we already talked about Neville.
Oh, that's a good point. So this is our last point that we wanted to talk about, and that is diving into the tasks that Harry has to complete.
I think
to
it's
get
actually
to the Sorcerer's Stone.
The worst thing that they left out because
I agree. How much extra time would this have taken?
None at all.
Yeah.
But I'm going to dive into this. Ready?
Go for it.
Through all the movies, but mostly, let's just say this whole movie, okay? Anytime there was a point through the movie where Ron shines and shows his knowledge of the wizarding world, as he should, right. Hermione snakes him from it, right?
Right.
And then he finally gets his moment in chess, and then the rest of the movies, he never gets really his moment to shine.
Right.
They give all his good lines to Hermione.
Right.
Right. If they would have, you see, this was Hermione's time to shine, right?
Right.
And they take away the potions task.
Right. The only time when it was supposed to be Hermione's moment to shine.
Yeah, exactly. The one time Hermione was actually supposed to be like, oh, this is easy. Got it.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, got it.
Right.
So you're going to, it makes me so mad, especially because I think it's the best one.
Oh, I agree.
Because especially as you're reading it, you stop and go, oh, which one is it? Like you try to think about it yourself.
Yeah.
And that really brings you into everything. And if they would have done that in the movie and been like read it and then just gone like taken a pause and had Hermione thinking there, talking herself through it, you would have given the audience time to be like, which one is it? Like, what do you do? And then you have that kind of small anxiety of like, is Hermione right? She's 11.
Right.
Did she really figure this riddle out here? And she did.
She did. She was right.
It shows her intellect.
Yeah.
But she's not from the wizarding world. She shouldn't know everything Ron does.
I agree.
The point of Ron is that he knows the wizarding world. And the point of Hermione is she knows everything.
Yeah, she has everything else.
Right?
By the time they get to the 7th book, maybe she can know some.
He's the chosen one. That's it.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
He needs the other two.
Harry would be 0. He'd be a 0 without those two.
Yeah. He'd be dead.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well, I'm going to roll that camera again, and then
we can
just for the outro. Yeah,
okay.
Just for the outro. Well, that about does it for that. And I know we paused just before doing the outro, but that's because I like to look directly at this camera for it. But any final thoughts that you want to share on the Sorcerer's Stone?
It's probably the third best movie of the bunch.
Okay.
Solid third.
I enjoy it a lot. I've watched Sorcerer's Stone a lot because sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm getting Harry Potter mood, so let me just watch the movie. Beginning. And I start at the beginning.
It's a big mistake.
You should
never start at the beginning. You should start at Order of the Phoenix. Skip Half-Blood Prince when you watch that movie. Skip part 1 of Deathly Hallows and just watch part 2. You're done.
Just watch those 2 movies. Okay.
Those are the best movies, man. Those movies are pretty
Well,
good.
I'll find out soon enough because, to be honest, guys, I still have yet to watch them.
Or read them.
Or read them. I'm reading Half-Blood Prince right now, and I have ambition that I'll be done with it a lot quicker than I was done with Order of the Phoenix. Like a lot.
Yeah.
By a year. But yeah, so we do plan on doing this more often. Probably not once a month.
No, maybe every other
maybe
month.
every other month,
once
something
a
like
quarter,
that.
So
I got to space it out because I got to make sure that I get through all of them and all of the movies before we need to talk about them.
Yes.
But yeah, so with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. You can find the podcast on all major podcast platforms if you're watching on YouTube and you want to have an audio-only option. If you're listening to the audio-only option and you want a video version, it is available on YouTube by going to youtube.com/@NoahParker_channel. We also have a TikTok, which you can find at Noah Parker's World of Wonder on TikTok. And we are also on Instagram with the same username, same tag. And, oh, yes, next week's podcast, because remember, we told you guys that we wanted to be able to tell you what was coming in future podcasts. So next week, we are doing the first installment of our Disney parks, like in park. We're not going to be in the park, but like more relevant, more current events in parks, not just going off of my memory from the last time I was there. We'll be doing Epcot's newest. So they just opened the rest of what used to be Future World. I forget what they're calling it now. World Celebration. They have the Dreamer statue set up, and you can go there and sit with him and take pictures, and you can actually walk across Epcot now from the Imagination Pavilion, or I guess the Lands Pavilion.
Are there still walls?
No, the walls are gone.
No
except
more
for
walls.
around.
Oh.
I think there's still walls around what will become Communicore.
Okay.
But I don't know for sure.
Just a few more walls.
I'll have to find out from Mom when we talk to her on Sunday. And yeah, until then, guys, let the wonder take hold.